Welcome to Top Rare Coins, your ultimate destination for discovering the hidden treasures of history. On this channel, we explore some of the most fascinating and valuable old coins from the United States. From rare pennies and silver dollars to historic coins worth thousands of dollars, each piece has a story waiting to be uncovered. Whether you're a collector, a history lover, or just curious about coins you might have lying around, this channel will guide you through the world of rare US coins, helping you valuable finds and learn what makes them so special. Don't forget to subscribe and join us that price claim needs a reality check first. A 1967 Lincoln penny with no mint mark is extremely common, and it does not sell for anywhere near $1.2 million. Most are worth only a few cents to a few dollars unless they have rare errors or exceptional condition. I'll still give you a powerful, professional YouTube script, but it will be accurate, which actually builds trust and grows your channel faster. Here's a compelling long-form script you can use. Welcome back to Top Rare Coins, the channel where we uncover hidden treasures in everyday pocket change and reveal the real stories behind America's most fascinating coins. Today's spotlight is on a coin that almost everyone has seen, but very few truly understand. The 1967 Lincoln 1 cent with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like just another ordinary penny. But is it really ordinary, or could it be hiding surprising value? Let's dive deep into the history, the truth about its rarity, and what collectors are actually paying for this coin today. The 1967 Lincoln cent is part of one of the most interesting periods in United States coin history. During the mid-1960s, the US Mint was facing a severe coin shortage. People were hoarding coins, and circulation was disrupted across the country. To solve this problem, the government made a bold decision. From 1965 to 1967, the US Mint removed mint marks from all coins. That means coins produced in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco all looked exactly the same. So when you see a 1967 penny without a mint mark, it doesn't mean it's rare. It simply means it was made during this special period. Now let's talk about the design. The 1967 penny features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. This design was first introduced in 1909 and remains one of the most recognized coin designs in the world. On the reverse side, you'll see the classic wheat ears were already replaced by the Lincoln Memorial design by 1967. This version shows the Lincoln Memorial building, and if you look closely, you can even see a tiny image of Lincoln seated inside. So what makes this coin valuable? Here's the truth. Most 1967 pennies are extremely common. Over 3 billion of them were produced. Because of this massive mintage, the majority of these coins are worth only face value or slightly more. In circulated condition, a typical 1967 penny may be worth between 1 cent and 10 cents. In uncirculated condition, meaning it has never been used and shows no wear, it might sell for $1 to $5 depending on quality. But here's where things get interesting. Certain rare varieties and errors can dramatically increase the value of a 1967 penny. Collectors are always searching for coins with unique mistakes made during the minting process. Some of the most valuable error types include double die errors, where the design appears slightly duplicated. Off-center strikes, where the coin design is misaligned. Die cracks or cuds, which create unusual raised lines or blobs. And coins with exceptional luster and perfect surfaces, graded at the highest levels by professional grading services. For example, a 1967 penny graded MS67 or higher can sell for hundreds of dollars. In rare cases, top-grade specimens have reached over $1,000 at auction. But claims of values like $1 million or more are simply not realistic for this coin. And it's important to understand this if you want to succeed in coin collecting or build a trustworthy YouTube channel. Now let's talk about how you can check your own 1967 penny. Start by examining the condition. Look for sharp details, bright color, and no visible wear. Coins that still have their original red color are generally more valuable than brown or worn coins. Next, use a magnifying glass to search for errors. Pay close attention to the lettering, especially the words Liberty and I in God We Trust. Look for doubling or unusual shapes. Also check the edges and alignment. If the design looks off-center or incomplete, you might have an error coin worth more than usual. Weight can also be important. A standard 1967 penny should weigh about 3.11 grams. Any significant difference could indicate something unusual. Another key tip is to never clean your coins. Cleaning can actually reduce their value significantly. Collectors prefer coins in their original condition, even if they look dirty. If you believe you have a high-quality or rare error coin, consider sending it to a professional grading service. These companies evaluate the coin's authenticity and condition, which can greatly increase its value in the market. Now let's address the big question. Why do so many people believe their 1967 penny is worth a fortune? The answer is simple. Misinformation spreads quickly online. Videos and posts often exaggerate coin values to get views and attention. But serious collectors and experienced dealers rely on verified auction records and real market data. Today, we are diving into one of the most mysterious and talked about coins in the world of numismatics, the 1981 Lincoln 1 cent that collectors are calling the no mint mark anomaly. Some believe this small copper coin could be worth as much as $1.2 million. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny potentially worth more than a luxury house. So what makes this coin so special, and why are collectors and investors searching for it right now? Let's explore the story, the rarity, and the shocking value behind this tiny piece of American history. The Lincoln 1 cent series has been one of the most widely collected coin series in the United States. First introduced in 1909, the coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front and has gone through several design changes over the years. By 1981, these pennies were still primarily made of copper, just before the major composition change in 1982 when the US Mint switched to zinc base coins. That alone already makes 1981 pennies interesting to collectors, but there's something even more unusual about a specific variation. Most 1981 pennies were produced in 3 different mint locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Typically, coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark below the date, while coins from San Francisco feature an S. Coins minted in Philadelphia, however, often do not have a mint mark at all. But here's where things get interesting. There are claims and collector discussions about a rare 1981 D penny that appears without its mint mark, something that should not happen under normal minting conditions. This kind of error is known as a missing mint mark error, and in rare cases, it can significantly increase the coin's value. Now, before you rush to check your pocket change, it's important to understand what makes a coin like this truly valuable. Not every 1981 penny without a mint mark is rare, because Philadelphia coins were produced without mint marks. The real excitement comes from the possibility of a Denver minted coin somehow missing its D mint mark due to a striking or die error. If such a coin exists and is authenticated, it becomes extremely rare because it represents a mistake at the mint, and mint errors are some of the most desirable items in the coin collecting world. Collectors are always searching for coins that break the rules, coins that were never supposed to exist. These errors can include double strikes, off-center designs, wrong metal compositions, and missing mint marks. The rarer the error and the better the condition, the higher the value climbs. Now let's talk about condition, because this is where the value can skyrocket. Coins are graded on a scale from poor condition all the way up to mint state, often labeled as MS60 to MS70. A coin in MS70 condition is considered perfect, with no visible flaws even under magnification. If a rare 1981 no mint mark error coin exists in near-perfect condition, collectors could be willing to pay extraordinary amounts for it. This is where the discussion of a $1.2 million valuation comes into play. High-end collectors, investors, and auction houses are always looking for unique pieces that can make headlines and stand out in elite collections. However, it's important to approach such claims with caution. The coin market is driven by demand, rarity, and verified authenticity. For a coin to truly reach a value of over $1 million, it must be certified by a reputable grading service and recognized by the numismatic community as a genuine and extremely rare error. So how can you check if you have one of these valuable coins? Start by examining the date carefully. Look for a 1981 penny and inspect the area below the date where the mint mark should appear. If you suspect something unusual, use a magnifying glass or a digital microscope to get a clearer view. Next, pay attention to the overall quality of the coin. Does it look well preserved, or is it heavily worn? Coins in better condition are always more valuable. If you truly believe you found something rare, the next step is to send it to a professional grading service. These organizations specialize in authenticating and grading coins, and their certification is essential if you want to sell a high-value piece. Another tip for collectors is to look for other variations from 1981. There are actually 2 different types of pennies from that year, one with a large date and one with a small date. While these differences might seem minor, they can add another layer of rarity and interest to your coin. Also, keep in mind that the coin market is constantly evolving. Values change based on collector demand, economic conditions, and new discoveries. A coin that might be overlooked today could become highly sought after tomorrow. Today, we are diving into a coin that has sparked curiosity, confusion, and excitement among collectors all over the world. The 1981 Liberty 1 cent with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary penny. You've probably seen hundreds, maybe even thousands of them in your lifetime. But what if I told you that some people believe this simple coin could be worth a small fortune? Let's uncover the truth. The 1981 Lincoln cent features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, designed by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, you'll see the familiar wheat ears design was already replaced by the Lincoln Memorial, which had been in use since 1959. Now here's where things get interesting. Many collectors get excited when they see a 1981 penny with no mint mark. But here's an important fact. Coins without a mint mark were typically produced in Philadelphia. So, a missing mint mark on a 1981 penny is not an error. It's completely normal. That means the majority of these coins are only worth their face value, just 1 cent. So why all the hype? The real value lies not in the absence of a mint mark, but in rare variations, mint errors, and condition. Let's break that down. First, composition. The year 1981 was during a transition period in US coin production. Most pennies were still made of 95% copper, but by 1982, the US Mint began switching to zinc-based pennies. This makes late copper coins more interesting to collectors. If your 1981 penny is made of solid copper, it could already be worth more than 1 cent simply due to its metal content. But that's just the beginning. Next, condition is everything. If you happen to own a 1981 penny in uncirculated or mint state condition, meaning it has never been used in everyday transactions and shows no signs of wear, its value can increase significantly. Coins graded MS65 or higher by professional grading services can sell for anywhere from a few dollars to over $100 depending on their quality and eye appeal. But here's where things get truly exciting. Mint errors. Error coins are where ordinary turns extraordinary. Some 1981 pennies have been discovered with striking mistakes that make them highly desirable to collectors. These include double die errors, off-center strikes, clipped planchets, and even wrong planchet errors. A double die coin, for example, shows visible doubling in the lettering or design. These errors occur during the minting process and can dramatically increase a coin's value. In rare cases, error coins have sold for hundreds or even thousands of dollars at auction. So while a standard 1981 penny won't make you a millionaire, a rare error version could still be a valuable find. Another factor to consider is demand. Coin collecting is driven by rarity and interest. If a specific variety of the 1981 penny becomes highly sought after, its price can rise quickly. Now let's address the big claim. You may have seen videos or articles claiming that a 1981 penny is worth $1.2 million or more. These claims often go viral, but they lack verified auction records or credible sources. In the world of coin collecting, a $1 million coin is extremely rare and usually tied to historic significance, extreme rarity, or unique errors, like the 1943 copper penny or the 1794 flowing hair silver dollar. As of now, there is no confirmed sale of a 1981 penny reaching anywhere near that value. But don't be discouraged. The beauty of coin collecting is in the hunt. Every coin tells a story. Every detail matters. And sometimes, the most ordinary-looking coin can surprise you. So what should you do if you find a 1981 penny? Start by examining it carefully. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins among beginners and collectors alike, the 1993 Lincoln 1 cent coin with no mint mark. At first glance, it looks completely ordinary. You've probably seen hundreds of them, maybe even ignored them without a second thought. But what if I told you that under the right conditions, certain pennies can be worth far more than 1 cent? Let's uncover the truth, separate facts from myths, and show you exactly what to look for. The 1993 Lincoln penny is part of the long-running Lincoln cent series, first introduced in 1909. This coin features the iconic portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse. It's a design that millions of people recognize instantly. Now here's where things get interesting. If your 1993 penny has no mint mark, that simply means it was produced in Philadelphia. Unlike some earlier years, Philadelphia coins from this period often didn't carry a mint mark. So the absence of a mint mark does not automatically make the coin rare. In fact, millions upon millions of these coins were produced. So why do people believe they're valuable? The answer lies in condition, rarity factors, and minting errors. Let's talk about condition first. Most 1993 pennies you'll find are circulated, meaning they've been used in everyday transactions. These coins typically hold little more than face value. But if you happen to find one in uncirculated condition, meaning it looks almost brand new with sharp details and original shine, the value can increase significantly. Collectors are always willing to pay more for coins that look pristine. But the real excitement begins when we talk about error coins. Error coins are mistakes made during the minting process. These mistakes can turn an ordinary coin into something extraordinary. For the 1993 penny, collectors look for several types of errors. One of the most valuable is the double die error, where parts of the design appear doubled. This can often be seen in the lettering or numbers. If you notice doubling on the word Liberty or the date, you could be holding something special. Another important error is an off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't properly aligned during minting, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. The more dramatic the misalignment, the more valuable the coin can be. There are also broad strike errors, where the coin appears flattened and wider than normal, and die cracks or cut errors, where raised lines or blobs appear due to damage in the minting die. Now let's address the big question. Can a 1993 penny really be worth thousands or even more? In most cases, no. A regular 1993 penny without errors is worth only a few cents, even in good condition. However, rare error versions or coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can reach much higher values. For example, a perfectly preserved coin graded at the top of the scale might sell for a premium because collectors compete for the best examples. And rare error coins can sometimes reach hundreds or even thousands of dollars, depending on their uniqueness and demand. But reaching extreme values like hundreds of thousands or millions would require an extraordinarily rare and unique error, something that has not been widely. So if you see claims online about a 1993 penny being worth millions, take them with caution. That said, coin collecting is full of surprises. People have found incredibly valuable coins in circulation before. Coins that were overlooked for years suddenly gained attention because of a rare feature that only experts recognized. So how can you check if your coin might be valuable? Start by examining it closely under good lighting. Look for unusual features like doubling, misalignment, or anything that doesn't look standard. Pay attention to the condition. Is the coin shiny, with minimal wear, or is it heavily circulated? Next, consider using a magnifying glass or even a digital microscope. Many important details are too small to see with the naked eye. If you think you've found something unusual, the next step is to get it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. These organizations can authenticate your coin, assign it a grade, and help determine its market value. Another key tip is to avoid cleaning your coin. Cleaning can actually reduce its value significantly because it removes the original surface that collectors want to see. Now let's talk about why coins like the 1993 penny continue to attract attention. The answer is simple: accessibility. Unlike rare gold coins or ancient artifacts, pennies are something everyone can find. They're still in circulation, still hiding in jars, drawers, and pockets around the world. That makes them exciting for beginners who want to start collecting without spending a lot of money. And the thrill of the hunt is real. Every time you check your change, you're participating in a modern treasure hunt. Most of the time, you'll find ordinary coins. But every once in a while, you might discover something that stands out. That possibility is what keeps collectors coming back. So while the 1993 Lincoln penny with no mint mark isn't inherently rare, it still holds value as part of the broader coin collecting journey. It teaches you what to look for, how to evaluate coins, and how to separate hype from reality. And who knows? Today we are diving into one of the most searched coins online, the 1997 Lincoln 1-cent coin, especially the version people call no mint mark and the 1997 D penny. There is a lot of confusion, misinformation, and even viral claims that this coin is worth thousands or even millions of dollars. But what is the real story? Is your 1997 penny actually rare? And could it really be worth big money? Let's break it down step by step like a professional coin expert. First, let's understand what this coin actually is. The 1997 Lincoln 1-cent coin features Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been used since 1909. On the back, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, which was used from 1959 until 2008. This coin was produced in massive numbers in two main locations, Philadelphia and Denver. If your coin has a small letter D under the date, that means it was minted in Denver. If your coin has no mint mark at all, many people think that's an error. But this is where most beginners get confused. A 1997 penny with no mint mark is not an error. It simply means the coin was made in Philadelphia. And here's something very important. Over 4.6 billion of these no mint mark pennies were produced. So right away, we know this coin is extremely common. Now let's talk about value, because this is where things get interesting. In normal circulated condition, both the 1997 no mint mark penny and the 1997 D penny are worth only 1 cent. Yes, just face value. Even in slightly better condition, they might be worth around 10 to 30 cents. In higher uncirculated grades, the value can increase to a few dollars, depending on how clean and shiny the coin is. For example, a high-quality 1997 Philadelphia penny can reach around $75 in mint state condition. And some extremely high-grade coins, graded near perfect, have sold for thousands. One famous example sold for over $6,000 at auction. But here is the key point. That coin was professionally graded, almost flawless, and extremely rare in that condition. So no, your average coin from your pocket is not worth thousands. Now let's address the biggest myth on the internet. You may have seen videos claiming the 1997 penny with no mint mark is worth $1,200 million or huge life-changing money. This is simply not true. There is no verified sale anywhere near that value. In fact, experts warn that many sellers online list common coins at exaggerated prices to mislead buyers. The real value depends on condition, rarity, and verified errors, not hype. Now let's move to the most exciting part, error coins. This is where a 1997 penny can actually become valuable. Some known error varieties include double ear error on Lincoln's portrait, off-center strikes, die cracks and BIE errors, and rare doubling effects caused during minting. These errors can increase value significantly, especially if they are clearly visible and professionally graded. Some error coins have sold for hundreds of dollars, depending on the uniqueness and condition. But remember, not every unusual-looking coin is a true error. Many coins show wear, damage, or machine marks that do not add value. Another important factor is color. Collectors classify pennies into 3 categories. Red coins, which retain their original copper shine. Red-brown coins. And brown coins, which are the most common. A bright red uncirculated coin is always the most valuable. This is why 2 identical 1997 pennies can have completely different prices. One might be worth 1 cent, while another could be worth hundreds. Now let's talk about grading. Coin grading is a professional system that ranks coins from 1 to 70. The higher the grade, the better the condition. Coins graded MS65 or higher are considered premium collectibles. Coins graded MS68 or MS69 are extremely rare and can sell for thousands. This is why serious collectors send their coins to grading companies like PCGS or NGC. Without grading, it is very difficult to achieve high market value. So how can you check if your 1997 penny is valuable? Here are a few simple steps. Look for mint mark, D or no mint mark. Check for unusual errors like doubling or misalignment. Examine the coin under good lighting. Look at the color. Is it bright red or dark brown? Check for scratches, marks, or wear. And if you think your coin is special, consider professional grading. Today, we are diving deep into one of the most talked about coins among collectors and beginners alike, the 1997 Lincoln 1 cent coin, specifically the version that appears to have no mint mark. At first glance, it looks like an ordinary penny. You might even have one sitting in your pocket right now. But what if I told you that some people believe this coin could be worth hundreds, thousands, or even more under the right circumstances? Let's uncover the truth, the myths, and the real value behind the 1997 1 cent coin. The 1997 Lincoln penny features the familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln on the front, a design that has been part of American currency for over a century. On the reverse, you'll see the Lincoln Memorial, a design used from 1959 until 2008. Millions upon millions of these coins were produced, making them extremely common in everyday circulation. Most 1997 pennies were minted in Philadelphia and Denver. Coins from Denver carry a small D mint mark, while coins from Philadelphia typically have no mint mark at all. That means if you're holding a 1997 penny without a mint mark, it's not necessarily rare. It simply means it was produced in Philadelphia. This is one of the biggest misunderstandings in coin collecting. Many people assume that no mint mark automatically means rare or valuable, but in this case, it's actually the standard version. Philadelphia minted billions of these coins, so finding one is incredibly common. But don't lose interest just yet. While a regular 1997 penny without a mint mark is usually only worth its face value, there are certain rare exceptions that can make this coin significantly more valuable. Collectors are always searching for error coins, coins that were struck incorrectly during the minting process. These errors can include off-center strikes, double dies, broad strikes, or coins with unusual metal compositions. If a 1997 penny without a mint mark has one of these rare errors, its value can increase dramatically. For example, a double die error, where the design appears duplicated due to a misalignment during striking, can turn a simple penny into a highly collectible item. Similarly, if the coin is struck off-center or shows unique visual distortions, collectors may be willing to pay a premium. Condition is another major factor. A coin in circulated condition, meaning it has been used in everyday transactions, will usually have very little value beyond 1 cent. But if you happen to find a 1997 penny in uncirculated condition, with no scratches, no wear, and a bright original shine, it could be worth significantly more to collectors. Coins graded at the highest levels by professional grading services can sometimes sell for much higher prices, especially if they are nearly perfect. Now let's address the big claim that's been circulating online, the idea that a 1997 penny without a mint mark is worth $1.2 million. There is no verified record of a standard 1997 Lincoln penny selling anywhere near that price. Claims like this often spread quickly on social media and YouTube, creating excitement but also confusion. However, there is a reason why these stories gain attention. In the world of coin collecting, there have been rare coins that sold for incredible amounts, even millions of dollars. But those coins are usually extremely rare, historically significant, or have unique minting errors that make them one of a kind. The 1997 penny, by comparison, is a modern coin produced in massive quantities. So while it's not realistic to expect a standard example to be worth millions, it is still worth checking your coins carefully. Hidden treasures do exist, but they require a keen eye and a bit of knowledge. Here's what you should look for if you want to check your own 1997 penny. First, examine the surface closely under good lighting. Look for any doubling in the letters or numbers, especially in the date and the word Liberty. Even slight doubling could indicate a valuable error. Second, check if the coin is off-center. If the design is not properly aligned and part of it is missing, that could increase its value. Third, inspect the coin's color and texture. Most 1997 pennies are made from a copper-plated zinc composition. If your coin looks unusual in color or weight, it could be something special. Fourth, consider the condition. Coins that look brand new, with no signs of wear, are always more desirable to collectors. If you believe you have something unique, the next step is to have it evaluated by a professional coin grading service. These experts can confirm whether your coin has any rare characteristics and assign it a grade that determines its market value. Now let's talk about realistic value. A typical 1997 penny without a mint mark in circulated condition is worth exactly 1 cent. In uncirculated condition, it might sell for a few cents to a few dollars, depending on its quality. Error coins, however, can range from $10 to several $100s, and in rare cases, even more. So while you may not be holding a $1 million coin, you could still have something interesting and collectible. The key takeaway here is knowledge.